Alright, so the super glue finished guitar is getting a ton of views, tons of questions. The most common question I'm getting on this top is how durable is the super glue? And so I figured out, let's test it and see how durable it is. So this is the body. It's been sitting in the shop now for about 3 weeks. It's nice and hard, and wanted to demonstrate just a couple different things on this. You know, if you run into a corner or you drop your keys on it, oh no, don't do this. What actually happens. And so those are a bunch of screws, left a bunch of little dents here and there, probably more. I don't know, there's one really good dent here, nothing that I won't be able to fix. So the key test left a little bit of dents here and there, nothing too bad, doesn't look like it damaged the wood. So that was the key test. Let's try the match test. No, I'm not going to take the full lit match to it, but that'll happen. Let's see what that looks like. Now that was surprising. That only left just a little bit of a mark, in the sense of just that top layer finish is a little dull, but it really didn't do any damage. I think the keys did a little bit more damage to the top. I mean, if you just take this and run it over the top, it doesn't really scratch. I mean, if I dig it in, obviously it will, but just sort of rubbing on the top, it doesn't really do anything. I know if you take a tip of a screw to true oil, you actually pull a little bit of true oil off, but doing that is not really leaving any scratches. So let's get the heat gun. So this is a Horror Freight heat gun that only works on one setting. Um, 4 or 5 inches away, and it's hot. I don't really see it doing anything. That's pretty interesting, actually. I mean, this is pretty warm now. I can see the coloring. Ooh, that's hot. That's actually pretty durable. I burnt more of the buffing out than anything else. So that was, what, 10-15 seconds of a heat gun. I don't really see any damage from that. I know if I did this with lacquer or true oil, that would be bubbling already, but that's not. The most damage so far was the screw test, and I got a bunch of zings. The match was right here. You can't really see that. That would just be a little bit of a wet sand. I can get that out. What else could I do? Could try the corner test. Yeah, that doesn't really leave that much damage. That's more because the wood is soft than anything else. I can see I zinged it here. So if you bump this into a corner, you're going to dent, but that is more, I think, the top versus the actual finish. Finish is actually really durable. Pretty happy with the way this looks. I mean, this is still warm now, a minute later, and I don't see any bubbling. I don't see any cracking. You know, I think the screws in this drill did more damage from actually denting the wood than the finish itself. So I would say the super glue finish is pretty durable, and with the ease that I used it before, all I'm going to do is just sand this down really quick with some 600, come back with another layer, and then buff it back out after I resand it again. I should be good. So it's a pretty durable finish. I'm pretty happy with the way this stuff looks. I mean, this is still warm, like pretty warm, and I don't see any damage. And the scratches that I was doing with this don't really do anything. I mean, if I shove this in, yeah, but I'm just talking, you know, scratching like your jacket or your zippers on your coats. Like, that's not doing anything to this top. So that's actually pretty cool. The keys, screws that I dropped definitely are more of a reaction from the wood and the weight of them falling than anything else itself. So if you put this on a maple top or something along those lines, it's going to be a really hard finish. Really impressed with the super glue. So that is the follow-up to most of the questions around durability. You know, obviously if I spilled alcohol or something else on it, it's not going to do anything because the scratch test and the heat don't do anything, and I'm not going to dump alcohol on this because I do have it finished in oil, and I know that's going to just be a pain. So the super glue finish is pretty durable. It withstood the light scratches like a zipper or the screw. When I put heat on it, it didn't really do any damage at all. When I dropped the keys and the screws, that definitely left a little bit more damage, but that's more of the weight of the screws and the wood than the finish itself. And then the match test right here didn't really do that much damage. You know, obviously if I took an open flame to it, it would, but I'm not doing that. So, you know, obviously this is a really cool, awesome finish. So just wanted to follow up on the durability test of the super glue finish. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next vid.